So my coming out story. I've known from the age of about 12 or 13 that I was, well, I don't know if I knew I was gay, but I knew that I didn't really fancy boys and I didn't want to kiss boys. Certainly didn't want to be in a relationship with a guy. So I guess from that point, I kind of started having crushes on girls, and I just put it down to kind of growing up and it being part of puberty. I remember reading kind of girls' magazines when I was that age, and I remember reading a column that said that this girl had been attracted to her best friend, and she wasn't too sure how to deal with it. And the agony aunt had responded, saying that it's probably just a part of growing up, and that it's a phase, and that she'll get over it. And I guess from the age of about 12 or 13, that's where I decided my problem was that actually it's just a phase and it's probably something that I'm going to grow out of as I get older. So I carried on. I had a few boyfriends. None of them I really clicked with. I liked them. I get on with guys, but I didn't want to spend a massive amount of time with them. And the crushes on girls got more and more frequent and stronger until I just couldn't really ignore them for much longer. The last boyfriend that I had was when I think I was about 16, and it got to the point where, lovely guy, but I just didn't want to spend any time with him, and I certainly didn't want to kiss him, and in the end he ended it because I wasn't spending any time with him or putting any effort into the relationship, which, you know what, fair enough. So it was around about that time when I was about 16 that I actually started to think seriously about this gay thing. I had the added complication that I had been brought up in a Christian family. Right from when I was a tiny little baby, I'd been going to church every Sunday. And I decided, again, about the age of 13, that actually God was real and I wanted to live my life for him. And I committed my life to him. And I still stand by that to this day. But when you think that you're gay and the church has a general homophobic opinion, you question as to whether what you're feeling is right. And I did that to a massive extent. You know, I didn't want to be gay. I wanted to be straight. I wanted to find a husband and settle down with him and get married and have kids and do everything normal, as a good Christian girl should. I'd never really spoken to anyone about whether it was right to be gay or not. But in our youth group, we did sessions on homosexuality and whether it was a sin. And the sessions always came out with one definitive answer, that yes, it was a sin. And I remember as I was getting a little bit older and a bit more confident in discussing the issue, that I said to the leader at the time, maybe same-sex relationships and being gay isn't a sin. I don't think it maybe is. And I remember being told, well, actually, Lucy, it is, and have a look at your Bible. So I piped down. I still had this constant torment going on in my head. My parents didn't know anything. They were Christian as well. What are they going to think? You know, I'd heard of people coming out as gay and being disowned by their families and their friends. And I had that constant battle in my head as to whether that was going to happen to me and what on earth am I going to do if it does. And I guess at that age, I Googled it quite a few times. I prayed a lot. I read a lot in the Bible, various books, both kind of for like pro same-sex relationships and also against. And I came to my own conclusions. That actually maybe this isn't that wrong. But I guess I still didn't have that affirmation that Jesus loved me just as I was and created me perfectly, and that actually my sexuality is a gift, and anyone's sexuality is a gift. And I remember one night being really, really annoyed and not getting anywhere with this. And I used to, just before I go to sleep, I used to put in my iPod and listen to a bit of Christian worship music. And a song came on by a band called Delirious, called Majesty. And the lyrics in there is "Your grace has found me just as I am." And it was those 4 words, "just as I am," that absolutely screamed out to me that God created me and he loves me and he accepts me just as I am. Yeah, there's imperfections in the rest of my life maybe that need correcting. Who doesn't have those? But as far as my sexuality is concerned, this is me. This is part of me, and he doesn't make mistakes. So from that time on, I kind of joined a few online forums and discovered this brand new world of being both gay and Christian. And I took it from there, really. I came out to my best friend first, and I think her response was, "That's cool, are you still coming for tea?" So that was brilliant. I came out to my parents. My mum said she thought I might be, and my dad said, "As long as you're happy, that's the main thing." They did struggle with it a little bit privately, I think, but they had a lot of support from friends, and especially a vicar whose son was also gay, and they got a lot of support from them. And my friends, the rest of my friends, some of them told me they would pray for me and that they'd pray for healing, which I said, brilliant, knock yourselves out. If you want to pray for that, that's fine. But most of them, were really, really supportive. And it's kind of been a journey from there. That was 8 years ago. I came out when I was 17 and I'm 25 now. And I've taken it from there. I feel it's my absolute passion to make sure that the LGBT community knows that God does love them and that sexuality isn't a sin and that relationships aren't a sin and that love isn't a sin. And it's also so important to let the church know that actually just because I'm gay doesn't mean I'm going out every Friday night, getting drunk, taking drugs, sleeping with anyone that will offer themselves to me. My life is still very Christian, and I try my best to live my life as a Christian. And just because I'm gay, that doesn't make any difference. So I guess that's my coming out story, really. I wouldn't change who I am for the world. If someone could offer me £1 million and I still wouldn't change who I am. Me being gay is a gift, and who am I to reject it?